Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Sir Cypher here with Let's Play Company of Heroes 2. Mission 13. Halbe thought it was a good chance to, first day of the year, make a video. This is about the Russian army closing in.
We might as well call the fascists and tell them we're here. We can't keep chasing them through the woods. We need to change our tactics.
Okay, so...
Our PPSH is...
Hold on, men! Friendly reconnaissance plane is inbound.
I guess it's supposed to represent the Germans don't know.
What is left of the German 9th Army is trying to break through our lines and link up with their 12th Army. We're going to cut them off and make sure that doesn't happen. Your first objective is to secure the road to Halbe. Once you have established the supply line, proceed through the surrounding forests and encircle the town. The Germans are holed up there, waiting for a chance to break through. We will not let them escape, comrades. Remember what they've done to our homeland, our people. We will show the fascists no mercy.
So, this is sort of a weird mission.
The Germans have a strong defensive position ahead. You must secure that territory before our forces can keep pushing forward.
Yes, comrade. We have ordered an M45 quad-mount Kraftmoor.
Let's go. Those anti-tank guns will tear apart our tanks. Take them out, and I'll be able to provide armored reinforcements.
Water squad is looking for targets.
Vehicle under infantry attack.
So, we sort of can get conscripts, but we can't get anything else. So our other types of units besides conscripts are going to be very valuable here.
They will learn
Standing by.
mortar here.
So I don't really want to lose our shock troopers, because they'll be relatively useful later in this. Actually, do I care if I lose the shock troopers? I guess I kind of care. Okay, I guess I kind of care.
More of our troops have been lost.
Okay, so
It is time to fight.
we're gonna just advance here. The main thing though is I gotta kill these machine guns here. So basically we have to clear this and then we have to encircle the town. And there's sort of a weird
We have more conscripts
time
at
limit
our
mechanic
disposal.
that happens later in the mission.
The enemy has killed another infantry squad.
I really wish we could get more than one mortar because it's kind of lame. We just get the one. Okay, take out that. Take out that.
Quickly, while it is reloading. Ready. Orders received.
We have more conscripts at our disposal. Fresh conscripts have arrived.
More conscripts.
Taking losses.
I was sort of reading about
The ultimate sacrifice.
and watching videos about sort of the Red Army near the end of World War II. And while they tried not to kind of advertise it,
Taking out their anti-tank support.
they were getting like really, really low
Has been dispatched to your location.
on on troops at this point. They were already recruiting women and had women in factories, which obviously the Germans did not do, because part of sort of fascist ideology is typically
At our disposal.
involves what you might call some traditional family values. You know, men are men and women are women, you know, the whole awards given to women making the most babies thing. So at this point, I think I think there's German women working in the factories at this point, but I don't know. I don't know if they. I don't know for sure. I know the Wehrmacht, never basically put women into combat, as far as I know. I could be wrong. Which is sort of weird. Why there's this archetype of the femme fatale Nazi in fiction, but as far as I know, they never did that. Alright, let's scoot up in here. At least we get a T-34-85 now. But yeah, so the Russians, because so many had been killed at this point, they were, conscripting people. I think they had the age up of which you could join, or that you could be conscripted at, was raised to 40, 45, which for myself I thought that was kind of funny, because that's not too far off to the situation when I joined the US military in 2008, because it was right before the recession. So after the recession happened, I think recruiting became very easy for the US military because lots of people needed jobs, but the recession hadn't happened yet. Oh shoot. Oh, my conscripts. The recession hadn't happened yet, and the war was kind of it was the troop surge and the whole boots on the ground thing, and because of that, they really needed people. And when I was in basic training, they had just recently raised the age of conscription, or the age that you could join, to 41. I think you could join if you were 40, and then you had to finish basic training before, or you had to be set to finish your training before you hit. So as soon as we go here, we're gonna capture this point, or we're gonna, even if we enter it, it's gonna start a thing. So I'm kind of trying to avoid that for a second. And also this building is going to become ours, so don't blow it up. I made that mistake the first time. I blew up that building. So as soon as we enter this area, or at least that's what happened last time. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, no, I'm not wrong. Or close enough. So yeah, you could be oh no. Oh no, I cannot under any circumstances lose. I cannot under any circumstances lose this T-85, this T-34-85. One thing I was surprised to see is this game does have KV-1 tanks. One of them shows up here.
Our headquarters is taking enemy fire. We have more conscripts at our disposal.
So there are KV-1s in this game, but the thing is that KV-1 was an early war tank. Like, it basically turned into the IS series of tanks. So while they did exist, and they were really good, they're really expensive to make, and my understanding is that they kind of gave up on the whole.
Remember, we must control both exits to the town if we are to stop the cowards from escaping.
Oh no, get back here, mortar team. What are you doing?
Before the Germans discover our plan. Use all resources at your disposal and secure those exits at once.
So the part of this mission that they don't tell you is after you take
More of our troops have been lost. It was no match for us.
after you take both sides, you're gonna have to defend them both, and there's a time limit as you head in each direction, which makes this a little difficult.
If you insist.
Okay, whatever, it's healed enough. So yeah, the KV-1 was sort of an early war tank. I don't think they made them after a certain point because they were expensive to make, and once the improved like T-34s came out, like T-34 85s, I just think they did like a cost benefit, and they're not worth making. And the heavy tank role got replaced by the Stalin tanks. Uh-oh. Oh. So
We have more conscripts
that's
at
my
our
understanding of what happened.
Not one step back, comrades.
Alright. So yeah, KV tanks rule, but I don't think they were that widely used.
Soviet HQ now includes the hospital, but only for those who are seriously wounded.
Late war, because I just think they stopped making them.
Brave infantry have made the ultimate sacrifice.
Oh, is that a mortar? Ooh. Give me that mortar.
British conscripts have arrived.
Retreat on the penalty of death.
Let's go.
Anything that moves. Combat patrol, go. Moving weapons free.
Where's my SP5? Repair that. Okay. More mortars. So yeah, I'm not really, but I like KV-1s. I think they're cool.
We have more conscripts
So
at
I'm
our
glad they're in
disposal.
here.
We have more conscripts at our disposal.
Stand your
They're one of those
ground,
Russian tanks that I feel like doesn't get enough credit. I think because while like the T-34s were obviously more influential, I'd say, like in the long run of like their design. I think in Operation Barbarossa, the KV-1s were like more scarier, more scarier to the German advance because
We have more conscripts at
you
our
know they're like
disposal.
big scary tanks. Okay. All right, everybody, let's freaking roll. We got shit to do here. So you want to be careful not to like move through this area because it's full of mines
Awaiting orders.
and also
Moving out.
like enemies and AT guns and machine guns. So if your units get engaged there, they'll like basically immediately get pinned, and then you'll have to retreat them. Oop.
Yes, comrades. Commander, get the 76 loaded. We have a target. A squad of infantry has been killed. Death before retreat. Frontoviki squads have arrived to fight.
retreat on the penalty
Oh my
of
goodness.
death.
Kill these guys. There we go, finally. Okay.
We have more
Get up there, you
conscripts
lazy
at our disposal.
T-34-85. Merge with the engineers. Okay. You guys back. Everybody else forward.
The enemy has killed another infantry squad.
But yeah, like, I don't know, it's sort of it is sort of funny to me because
Arrive to fight.
the whole, like, when I heard that thing about how the Russians, like, oh man, they increased their recruitment pool to 45, because it's like, yeah, that's that's basically what it was when I was in the army, in the U.S. because nobody really wanted to go to Iraq and Afghanistan in 2008 and 2007 until the recession happened, you know.
More of our troops have been lost.
Meanwhile, the I feel like
Frontoviki conscripts ready for
for
deployment.
the Germans, they basically, there's a Volkssturm where they formed a basically a militia for like home defense. And I was reading Military History Visualized just did a good video on it, and it's basically like they had a really hard time training because like the only people who were left who like were able-bodied who hadn't gotten conscripted yet were people in like the war industry, like in the in the armament industry. And so because they were like all working overtime, like trying to build tanks and bullets and stuff, like they didn't have any time to train.
Infantry has been killed. Death before retreat.
Because, you know, any time they had to take off training was like time that they could be building building stuff. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Alright, let's just drop a bomb on this here.
Not one step back, comrades. IL-2 bombing run inbound. Brave infantry have made the ultimate sacrifice.
The fascists are well entrenched within the town. Stay clear of it.
Drop that fucking bomb. There we go. Oh man. These my poor
We have Frontoviki squads at our disposal. Frontoviki squads have arrived to fight. Retreat under penalty of death. More of our troops have been lost.
Alright. Stupid mortar half track. Get this motherfucker. Okay, so that's repaired. Move in here. Uh-oh. Blow up that. Repair that. Let's get some reinforcements here.
Frontoviki conscripts ready for deployment.
Okay. I'll actually bring these guys here.
Frontoviki squads have arrived to fight.
So we gotta capture this.
For the Rodina.
We have secured one of the exits, Comrade Colonel. Good. Keep an eye out for any Germans trying to flee the town and secure the other
We'll
exit.
keep an AT gun here. We'll keep one mortar team. Maybe like here. Okay, everybody else. We'll keep one machine gun team here. We'll keep a mortar team like maybe back here. Okay, everybody else, you gotta go back.
We have Frontoviki squads at our disposal. Frontoviki squads have arrived to fight. Not one step back,
Oh,
comrades.
balls. My poor engineers. Okay. Okay. Merge with these mortars, or wait, merge with these engineers. So the weird thing is they're not supposed to be coming out of this place yet. I'm not really sure what's happening here. Whatever.
Frontoviki conscripts ready for deployment.
Okay, we got that. Got the mortars. Okay. Now, where are all these guys coming from? There's not actually supposed to be anybody coming through here at this point.
Vicky squads have arrived to fight.
Retreat under penalty of death.
Huh.
We must not show mass water here.
I'm very confused right now. But anyway, we gotta advance this direction now.
Long-distance patrol move out. This will burn a lot of fuel.
We fucked up that squad.
SU-85 combat ready.
So the whole thing is I wanted to plant some mines here,
Forward, comrade.
but
Get a crew on that HMG. Manning heavy machine gun. What are you looking at? Pick it up!
We have Front-to-Vicky squads at our disposal. Front-to-Vicky squads have arrived to fight.
alright everybody,
Stand your
Advance.
ground for the Rodina.
Death to the fascists. What do you need? Moving. Tube
mortar
ready
team
for
advance, you advance,
deployment. For the first man who kills a fascist.
you go there.
Germans in the tree line.
Yes, comrade.
Okay. Maybe I scoot up here. Maybe I should back up a little. Okay.
Meanwhile, we'll get there.
Your orders, conscripts moving out. Shoot back.
Front-to-Vicky conscripts ready
Okay.
for deployment. Front-to-Vicky squads have arrived to fight.
Not one step back, comrades.
Okay, there we go.
We will get there.
Let's get these guys.
We are on the way.
That'll show them.
So I'm at 55%, which isn't great, but I had to spend some time getting over here. So I think that's
The enemy has killed
think that's
another
fair.
infantry squad.
ooh, half track.
Destination confirmed.
Now I want to build some mines here.
Engineer standing by. Starting construction.
Man down.
We have Front-to-Vicky squads at our disposal.
Okay.
Front-to-Vicky squads have arrived to fight.
Retreat under penalty of death.
All right, everybody, let's roll.
Probing the enemy lines. We are
Maybe I can grab another AT gun while I'm at it. Let's go.
We are ready for action.
I don't know if I'm in the best defensive positions here, but I might just have to do.
Get
Oh.
men on that. Yes, comrade.
Front-to-Vicky
I
conscripts
have a
ready for
tendency to want to
deployment.
come through here. Maybe some over here. Some down here. Okay. Anyway.
Ready. Heavy tank. Da, comrade.
Advance.
Front-to-Vicky squads have arrived to fight.
Stand your ground for the Rodina.
Safety's off.
Get in there, you cowards.
Comrade. Death to the enemies of the people. We are going into
Oh,
the
balls.
thick of it. We are taking losses. Move like your life depended on it.
Pino Battalion troops are now available.
KV-1 taking fire.
Get moving. Face the center.
Strafbat needs orders.
Mortar here.
Not one step back, comrades. Lay some smoke cover and take out that fucking kill.
Vicky squad. A squad of infantry has been killed. Death before retreat. KV-1 has scored the kill.
Alright. Take out this hill.
What do you have for us?
Yes, comrade.
Comrade Stalin is counting on us.
KV-1 on the target.
MG engaging us.
We now have access to penal squads. Use those cowards well.
Retreat under penalty of death.
Advance.
Out to combat.
I want to nab an AT gun if I can, because it's going to be very useful in the next stage of this.
Comrade Stalin is counting on us. Machine gun.
Go, charge this hill, you cowards. Oh, I don't know what my poor... Charge this AT gun, you cowards.
Now available to die for the motherland.
I was also reading about penal battalions, and
Stand your ground for the Rodina.
apparently they were like a temporary assignment, in that assuming you like did a good job, you had to spend so many days in a penal battalion, and then you were like allowed to leave. It wasn't like you were forever like doomed to just be in a penal battalion. The other thing is that apparently it was sort of like a two-step punishment. Is that like, you know, there's the whole like enemy at the gates thing where it's like, oh, you talk back to a commissar and they shoot you. But supposedly it was like more of a two-step thing where it's like, okay, you did something you weren't supposed to. Like, let's say you ran away. So first, you would usually get sent to a penal battalion, and then basically, if you screwed up again in a penal battalion, like they would just shoot you, right? Like there was no like mercy there, right? You know, it's like you didn't listen to the commissar, he would just shoot you. And then but if you did, like, do a good job and you survived the penal battalion, then you would oh balls. No, my half track.
Brave infantry have made the ultimate sacrifice.
Okay, let's go.
Penal troops are standing by.
Not one step back, comrades.
The enemy has killed another infantry squad.
Oh no, get back up here, Peter. Okay. Okay. How dare you pick on my poor little half track, my KV1. Big brother KV is here to punish you for picking on my little half track. So yeah, supposedly you could be like reformed from being in a penal squad or a penal battalion.
Penal squads are now available to die for the motherland. Strafbat needs orders.
Retreat on
Which sort of makes sense in a way, because it's like, it's good to have kind of a, multi, uh-oh. To have different stages of penalties, for screwing up. Okay, where is my guys here? Okay, you guys stay back here. I think that's good if that stays there. Maybe the mortar crew. It's not a bad place for the mortar crew, hopefully. Maybe there. Okay, where's my KV1? Alright, let's go. Advance. Advance. How much pop cap do I have? Okay, maybe one more squad here. Oh, no. Oh, you, okay. You guys, yeah, maybe stay there. Okay. Everybody advanced.
When in doubt, shoot.
So one other interesting anecdote that I sort of heard was that like German troops were like super enraged, or not German troops, like Russian troops were like super enraged upon like getting into Germany and like going into people's houses, and like they had like electronics and like butter and stuff and like chocolate sometimes, and obviously, so Soviet Russia was very poor, right? So you know they didn't have anything like that. So there was sort of like this like outrage of like, you know, like these people have so much stuff. Like why did they come over here and attack us? Like why? You know what I mean? Like they're already so much like richer than we are. And I think that's kind of an interesting thought. When you consider how poor Russia was. Okay, so
We must not let them escape. Hold the road and railway and prevent any Germans from getting through.
okay, so I probably want additional engineers.
The Germans are not yet aware of the encirclement. We will catch them off guard when they try to
Okay,
attack.
so I think we probably have a decent number of troops on each side. The main thing is I just don't want to, there we go. I'm gonna grab, I need a machine gun here.
Sir, we have movement by the railway.
Okay, why don't you just merge with them? Why don't you merge with them? Get in there. You grab that Panzer Shrek. Maybe I don't need this many troops. We'll find out. Then you guys maybe go here.
Should we let them go? I told you to shoot, damn it! Shoot them before they shoot us.
Maybe put a machine gun there. Okay, let's see how stuff's going here. Okay, that's a lot of them.
Engineers ready for assignment.
Engineers. Get up. Get there. My mortars aren't dead. These machine gunners aren't doing so hot. Maybe I'll merge them with them. Phew, okay. Do I have any more, okay, I think I probably have too many people up here.
Troops are being transferred to make room for fresh recruits.
I have an AT gun. I have these guys. Maybe I should just get rid of these guys
Units are
and
being transferred to make room for the
get
new.
rid of these engineers. Okay, they ran over my mines. Okay, these tanks are just running all over the place. Okay, kill that. So it makes it seem like, okay, so it says you have to keep them from escaping, so you think like, oh, I can't let them run off the map, but they don't really try and run off the map. They just attack you, so it's kind of weird. Let's get some more.
Penal troops are standing by.
But you really kind of have to, you don't have time, like once you take like one side, you don't have time to like go back and reinforce the other side, so you kind of have to just bring enough stuff with you.
Ready, comrades. The fascists are not done yet.
I guess you can't merge with people inside houses. Well, whatever. Merge with these guys.
Forward. March.
Go there. You go in there.
Penal squads are now available to die for the motherland.
Okay. T-gun, maybe point that way.
Infantry have made the ultimate sacrifice.
Uh-oh. Oh, my poor engineers. Oh no, my poor engineers.
Sector under attack.
Let's see here. So much crap. Okay, ooh, let's get a Stuka barrage here, actually. Okay. That'll help. Oh god, what the what is even happening here? Blow up that, blow up that, blow up that. Where's my mortar team? Kill this AT gun. I guess shoot at them. Okay, they're gonna kill my SU-85, but you know, sometimes bad stuff happens.
The enemy has destroyed one of our vehicles.
Okay.
Penal troops are standing
More
by.
penal troops.
Not one step back,
So this side's fine. Um,
SU-85 coming. SU-85 moving.
okay. Let's just get these guys here. I don't think anybody's gonna escape because they're all pinned up here. If I take out that, then they won't be able to kill my SU-85. And I think this was the last wave. So yeah, if you're playing this, you kind of have to break off your forces at the start, like or after you capture the first base. You could also split it in half at the start and do that, but I think that might take too long. But yeah, you split your forces in two.
Retreat under
You split your
penalty of
forces in
death.
two, and then you send, or you attack one side. I think this side's better to attack first. Then leave half here and use the other half to take the other side. There we go.
Seems the Germans have given up for
So there we go. No
We
escapes.
proceed into the town,
Um,
Comrade Commissar. There is no need for that. Our rear forces will deal with them.
Penal squads are now available to die
Cough,
for the
cough.
motherland.
Deal with them in quotation marks.
They died in their thousands just to have a chance to surrender to the Americans. But all that mattered to the generals was the race to Berlin. Egos killed men that needn't have died.
I suppose egos were at play, comrade. But it was vital that we reached Berlin before the British and Americans. The future of the Soviet Union depended on the Germans surrendering to us, not our allies.
So there you go. And that's, I think, more or less true what he said. Although, you know, obviously German troops didn't really have the option of who they fought against, but once it was clear that they were going to lose, lots of whole German units went all the way, went as far west as possible to surrender to the Allies, because they knew what they'd been up to in Russia and Poland and the Ukraine, and they kind of didn't want to reap what they'd sowed. There's actually even an interesting case of a surrendered Wehrmacht unit fighting with an American unit against an SS unit, because obviously the SS didn't want to surrender, and in late 1945, the most regular Wehrmacht units were completely done with this whole thing. But anyway, so there you saw. So you kind of just have to split your forces. It's not like a lot of missions in this game. It doesn't give you any time to get ready once you learn what the real objective is. So you have to be prepared to complete it as soon as it triggers, which I think is kind of lazy design. It'd be nice if they told you this is what you're going to have to do, but c'est la vie. Anyway, thank you for watching and have a nice day.